Warehouse outside Houston. Friday night. Luxury vehicles parked around the building. Security guards checking invitations. Inside, 60 people in cages. Men, women, children. All for sale. Live auction. Bidders seated in rows. Catalogs listing victims by age, nationality, skills. Starting bids displayed on screens. This wasn't human trafficking. This was human merchandising. Industrial-scale slavery happening in America. U.S. Marshals had been tracking the organization for 11 months, building intelligence, identifying locations, documenting participants. The operation was called Operation Broken Chain. And when federal power raids human auctions, there is no mercy. Only overwhelming force and life sentences. Welcome to the most horrific human trafficking rescue in U.S. Marshals history. When criminals think they can sell people like livestock, federal agents remind them, this is America. And slavery ended in 1865. The investigation began with escaped victim, young woman from Eastern Europe. She'd been trafficked to U.S., promised job. Instead, imprisoned, forced into prostitution. She escaped during transport, ran to police. Her story was nightmare. But one detail caught federal attention. She mentioned auction, people being sold to highest bidders, live events, wealthy buyers, professional organization. FBI Human Trafficking Unit contacted U.S. Marshals. This wasn't standard trafficking case. Victims weren't just exploited, they were merchandise, sold at organized auctions. That indicated sophisticated network, significant resources, high-level criminals. This required multi-agency response. Special Agent Rachel Martinez coordinated the investigation. 18 years with Marshals, specialized in organized crime. She'd raided trafficking operations before, brothels, labor exploitation, document fraud. But auctions? That was new level of depravity. This is slavery, Martinez told her team. Not metaphorical, actual slavery. People held captive, sold to buyers, transferred like property. This is 21st century slave trade, and we're going to destroy it completely. 60 victims in cages, live human auction in Texas. Comment if you think buyers and sellers deserve death penalty. The escaped victim provided critical information. Auctions happened monthly, different locations, always warehouses, rural areas, high security. Buyers were vetted, wealthy individuals, criminals, people seeking victims for various purposes, labor, sex trafficking, domestic servitude. Some buyers wanted specific characteristics: age, nationality, skills. Catalogs listed everything. Intelligence gathering began. Financial tracking identified money flows, large cash transactions, unusual property rentals, security company payments. The organization spent millions on logistics. This wasn't small operation. This was business. Professional, profitable, evil. Human intelligence was critical. Undercover agent couldn't infiltrate directly. Too suspicious. New buyers required extensive vetting, background checks, references, proof of wealth. The organization was careful. They knew law enforcement would try infiltrating. The solution was informant. One of the security guards had conscience. He'd worked 3 auctions, seen the victims, heard their crying, watched families separated, children sold. He couldn't continue. He contacted FBI, offered to cooperate, wear a wire, provide evidence. His testimony would be crucial. The informant described the operation. Victims were kidnapped or lured internationally, brought to US through various methods, held in multiple locations. Before auctions, they were transported to warehouse, placed in cages, catalogued, medical examinations conducted, Photos taken. Information compiled into auction catalogs. Bidders received catalogs days before. Could pre-select targets. Arrange financing. Prepare transportation. Auctions lasted 3 to 4 hours. Professional auctioneer. Security everywhere. 60 victims typically. Sold in groups or individually. Prices ranged from $5,000 to $100,000, depending on victim characteristics. Children brought premium prices. Young women next. Men for labor were cheapest. The economics of human misery were calculated precisely. Hit like if you believe human traffickers should face mandatory death penalty. The informant wore wire to next auction. October 7th. Location outside Houston. Warehouse district. Isolated. Perfect for illegal activity. Recording captured everything. Auctioneer describing victims. Bidders calling out prices. Victims crying. Security guards watching. Money changing hands. Complete evidence of modern slavery. The recording was devastating. Prosecutors listening to it cried. Victims pleading. Children screaming. Buyers discussing purchases like buying cars. The depravity was absolute. Everyone involved would face maximum federal prosecution. But Marshals wanted more than evidence. They wanted rescue. 60 victims at the auction. More held at various locations. Entire network had to be destroyed simultaneously. Victims freed. Buyers arrested. Sellers prosecuted. Complete dismantlement. That required massive operation. Planning began immediately. Raid timing was critical. Hit during active auction. Catch everyone present. Buyers, sellers, security, everyone in one location. But warehouse layout presented challenges. Large open space, multiple exits, armed security, victims in danger if shooting started. This required perfect tactical execution. FBI hostage rescue team joined planning. Elite operators trained for high-risk rescues. Local Houston SWAT provided support. U.S. Marshals coordinated overall operation. Over 150 personnel involved. This was largest human trafficking raid ever attempted domestically. The warehouse was surveilled for weeks. Security patterns documented. Entry points identified. Interior layout mapped. Camera positions noted. Guard rotations timed. Everything analyzed. Raid plan developed. Refined. Rehearsed. Nothing left to chance. Medical teams prepared for mass casualty. 60 victims. Unknown conditions. Possible injuries. Trauma. Medical needs. Ambulances staged. Hospitals notified. Translators arranged. Victim services coordinators ready. The rescue would require extensive humanitarian response. Too much force or exactly right for human slavery operation. Comment T or R. October 7th arrived. The auction was scheduled for 8 p.m. Informant confirmed final details. 62 victims this time. 43 buyers expected. 20 security guards. Auction staff. Total occupancy over 130 people. The warehouse would be crowded, chaotic, dangerous. Tactical teams staged at 6 p.m. Final briefings conducted. This is rescue operation, HRT commander emphasized. Priority 1, victim safety. Priority 2, arrest everyone else. Use minimum necessary force. These victims have suffered enough. We don't add to their trauma. At 7:45, surveillance confirmed the auction was starting. Luxury vehicles arrived. Well-dressed buyers entering. Security checking credentials. Inside, victims were displayed. Cages lined up. Catalog numbers visible. Auctioneer testing microphone. The nightmare was beginning. 7:58, final check. All teams confirmed ready. Medical standing by. Every exit covered. No escape possible. 8 p.m. exactly. Execute. Simultaneous breach at 4 entry points. Federal agents, nobody move. Flashbangs detonated. Blinding light. Deafening sound. Overwhelming chaos. Security guards reached for weapons. HRT operators faster. Drop them, now! Most guards complied. Smart choice. 3 tried drawing weapons. Massive mistake. Non-lethal force applied. All 3 down in seconds. Secured. Disarmed. No shots fired. Perfect control achieved. Buyers scattered, running for exits. Every exit blocked. U.S. Marshals, on the ground. Wealthy individuals in suits, professionals, businessmen, all face down on concrete, handcuffed. Their money couldn't buy escape from federal agents. The auction staff tried destroying evidence, smashing computers, burning documents. Agents stopped them. Everything seized, computers intact, documents preserved, financial records secured, evidence protected. Which deserves harsher sentence? A. Traffickers. B. Buyers. C. Both equal? But the priority was victims. HRT operators moved through the cages, bolt cutters opening locks. You're safe now. We're federal agents. You're being rescued. Victims reacted differently. Some crying relief, some shocked, some didn't believe it. Years of trauma made trust impossible. Medical teams flooded in, checking each victim. Injuries documented. Immediate care provided. 62 people freed. Ages ranging from 8 to 43. Nationalities from 15 countries. All enslaved. All about to be sold. All now safe. The scene was emotional. Agents experienced in violence were crying. Children hugging officers. Families reunited in cages discovering each other. The horror of what almost happened was overwhelming. 62 people minutes from being sold, scattered across America, disappeared forever, now free. Transport was organized, ambulances for injured, buses for others, everyone going to secure facility, federal protection, victim services, medical care, psychological support, everything needed for recovery. The rescue operation continued hours after tactical phase ended. Meanwhile, arrests continued. 43 buyers handcuffed, 20 security guards secured, 8 auction staff arrested. Total arrests 71 people. Everyone present at human auction. Everyone facing federal charges. Conspiracy, human trafficking, slavery. Each charge carrying decades. Evidence collection took all night. Warehouse thoroughly searched. Financial records seized. Computers imaged. Vehicles searched. Phones confiscated. Documents photographed. Everything documented. Building cases against every single defendant. The buyer list was shocking. Businessmen, professionals, some wealthy individuals, one elected official, people who appeared respectable, all participating in human auction, all purchasing slaves. Their respectability was facade. Underneath were monsters. Financial investigation expanded, tracing buyer payments, seller profits, money laundering networks. The auction generated millions, all tracked, all documented, all subject to forfeiture. Every dollar would be seized, used for victim compensation and prosecution. If you believe human auction participants deserve life without parole, type SWAT power. Intelligence from seized evidence revealed the network, other auctions, different locations, additional victims held in various sites. The organization was larger than estimated. Over 200 victims in the pipeline, multiple auctions monthly, revenue exceeding $50 million annually. industrial-scale human trafficking. Follow-up raids were planned, 5 additional locations identified, holding facilities, administrative offices, storage sites. Raids executed over next 72 hours, simultaneous operations across 4 states, 138 additional victims rescued, 47 more arrests. The entire network collapsed. Total impact: Operation Broken Chain rescued 200 victims, arrested 118 traffickers and buyers, seized $15 million in cash and assets, shut down the largest human auction network in U.S. history, complete organizational destruction. Federal prosecutors filed charges. Every defendant faced multiple counts: human trafficking, slavery, conspiracy, money laundering, kidnapping, enhanced penalties because victims included children. Sentences would be measured in decades. Most would die in prison. The trials began 18 months later. Evidence was overwhelming: recorded auction proceedings, victim testimony, financial records, defendant communications, seized documents. No defense could overcome such evidence. Guilty verdicts were certain. First trial featured auction organizers. Leader was Marcus Sullivan, age 52, businessman facade, actually ran human trafficking empire. Prosecutors presented evidence systematically: recorded auctions, victim testimony, financial records showing $50 million in revenue, Sullivan's own communications ordering kidnappings. Defense claimed Sullivan was just providing venue, didn't know about trafficking. Jury didn't believe it. Recorded audio had Sullivan discussing victims, negotiating prices, planning kidnappings. He was architect of the operation. Guilty on all counts. Sentenced to life without parole plus 200 years. He'll die in federal prison. Buyers faced separate trials. Most pleaded guilty, faced with overwhelming evidence and victim testimony. Average sentence: 30 years. Some received more. The elected official got 45 years. His position made crime worse. Abuse of public trust, enhanced penalty applied. Security guards received varying sentences. Some cooperated, testified against leaders, got 15 to 20 years. Others fought charges, received 30 to 40 years. The informant who wore wire received immunity. His cooperation saved hundreds of lives. Should human trafficking carry mandatory death penalty nationwide? Comment yes or no. The victims received comprehensive support: medical care, psychological counseling, legal assistance, immigration relief for foreign nationals, job training, housing assistance. Federal government provided everything needed for recovery and rebuilding lives. Some victims chose deportation, returning to home countries with assistance. Others sought asylum, staying in U.S., building new lives. All received support regardless of choice. Their trauma wasn't their fault. Government responsibility was helping recovery. Follow-up operations continued for years. The auction network had been international, partners in dozen countries. More raids, more arrests, more rescues. Operation Broken Chain expanded globally. Hundreds more victims freed worldwide. The investigation that started with one escaped victim became largest human trafficking takedown in history. Legislative action followed. New laws strengthening penalties, enhanced victim services, increased funding for trafficking investigations. Operation Broken Chain proved such evil required maximum federal response. Congress provided resources. Training improved. Law enforcement educated about auction-style trafficking, recognition methods, investigation techniques, rescue protocols. The warehouse raid became model for future operations. Public awareness increased. Media coverage was extensive. Human auctions in America, modern slavery, victims from around world. The stories shocked the nation. Donations to victim services surged. Volunteers stepped forward. Broken Chain had lasting impact beyond arrests. The warehouse where auction happened was demolished. Site became memorial, monument to freed victims, recognition of federal agents who rescued them, reminder that slavery still exists, and reminder that federal power stops it. Sullivan sits in ADX Florence Supermax, life without parole, surrounded by terrorists and cartel leaders. His human trafficking empire is memory. His victims are free. His wealth is seized. His life is over. He'll die in concrete box. Justice delivered absolutely. The rescued victims rebuild lives, some thriving, some struggling, all free. Federal protection continues. Support services remain available. Recovery takes years. But they're no longer merchandise, no longer in cages, no longer for sale. They're free, because federal agents rescued them. Operation Broken Chain proved that human trafficking networks can be destroyed, auctions can be raided, victims can be freed, traffickers can be imprisoned for life. When federal power targets modern slavery, outcome is certain. Complete victory, total rescue, absolute justice. This is what happens when criminals hold human auctions. This is what U.S. Marshals and FBI achieve protecting victims. This is why human trafficking brings life sentences. You can organize auctions. You can cage victims. You can print catalogs. You can invite buyers. You can think wealth protects you. None of it stops federal raid. Marshals will infiltrate, will document, will coordinate massive response, will breach your warehouse, will free every victim, will arrest everyone, will prosecute for life. The organization learned this the hard way. 50 million in revenue, 200 victims enslaved. One night, federal raid, everyone arrested, all victims freed, network destroyed, leaders facing life without parole. Perfect federal justice. This is SWAT power, where human auctions get raided, where victims get rescued, where traffickers get life sentences, where federal power proves American soil won't tolerate slavery. The answer to the quiz? C. Both equal under federal law. Traffickers and buyers both face severe penalties. Purchasing humans is as serious as selling them. Both receive decades to life sentences. Should human trafficking automatically mean life without parole? Do you support death penalty for trafficking leaders? Which rescue aspect impressed you most? Comment below. Like if you stand against human trafficking. Subscribe to SWAT Power, where federal agents raid modern slave markets and deliver absolute justice. Because slavery ended in 1865, and federal power ensures it stays ended. SWAT Power, auction destroyed, victims freed, traffickers imprisoned, every single time.